Hey guys, what is up? It is Matt998 here, and I am back with a brand new video. This is round number 11 of the Freddie Gray career mode here on F1 2014 using this F1 2016 season mod, and I can only apologise really about the lack of content over the last week or so. Unfortunately, I have been a little bit ill, so I have been unable to make other videos other than this Freddie Gray series. I promise very soon there will be different kind of videos on this channel. In fact, with another F1 YouTuber, actually, interestingly. That should be coming hopefully this Sunday. Not going to reveal who the YouTuber is just yet, but I'm supposed you guys will find out very soon. It's a video you've actually been requesting for quite some time, some of you anyway. So hopefully you'll be looking forward to that. But today we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix after the summer break. Freddie is obviously trailing Lewis Hamilton, but he has decreased that lead to what I believe is now around 5 or 6 points in the championship. So hopefully today we can beat Lewis Hamilton and overhaul him into first position as we head obviously into the Italian Grand Prix in the next race. Very soon I will also be making a video about my F1 2016 series that I'm planning. I will be revealing one thing though. I think I will be driving as a Renault in the career mode, basically with the aim being to sort of return the team to their former glories, but I'm going to explain a lot more on that in a separate video anyway. So you guys, at least you know now probably what I'm doing for F1 2016 in terms of a career mode. But without further ado, let's get into Spa now for the qualifying report. With its long straight, Spa played to MANOR's strengths as they nearly made it into Q2. Sauber also exceeded expectations, with Swede Marcus Ericsson putting his car on P16. It was a day to forget for McLaren however, with both cars suffering engine issues. Jolyon Palmer outqualified teammate Kevin Magnussen after the Dane endured traffic in the closing stages of Q1. It was yet another mediocre session for Force India, and their early season promise had all but faded away. Williams were aiming to make the most long run down to Les Combes as both drivers qualified low down in the top 10. Carlos Sainz Jr. was left frustrated with yet another P11 finish, however he would be aided with a free choice of tyres for the race. Grosjean showed electric pace around Spa to secure 7th, Red Bull maximised their performance through Sector 2 to seal 4th and 6th respectively. An odd suspension issue left Freddie Gray without a lap time in Q3, while teammate Vettel secured 3rd, with Rosberg once again proving his worth to teammate Lewis Hamilton. The start was going to be crucial for drivers like Freddie, who were starting lower down than expected, but with many overtaking opportunities and a highly powerful slipstream, there was certainly potential for a good result in the race. It is now time for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Okay, summer break is now over. Let's take every race as it comes. Come on, man.
So, as the engineer says, a very long run down to Les Combes at turn number 5. Very poor grid position today in P10. We should be able to make positions at the start. The summer break is now over. Let's win this World Championship, and we are underway here for the Belgian Grand Prix. The guys on the outside of the circuit seem to have gotten a much better start than the guys on the right hand side in comparison to guys like Valtteri Bottas. Romain Grosjean going to go around the outside. We find the gap between Felipe Massa out of the exit of turn 1 now. Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton run wide. Ricciardo going to squeeze him off the track, preventing him from rejoining, and we are now up into P6 already. And behind us we've got Felipe Massa, and also Toro Rosso was there. I believe a Carlos Sainz Jr. who started directly behind us in P11. So Carlos Sainz has made an absolutely incredible start. Has been kissing the gearbox there of Max Verstappen. There is Carlos Sainz Jr. Is he going to try and make a move? I think we're going to line up one on Max Verstappen. The straight line speed in this Ferrari is obviously pretty incredible, and obviously the slipstream on this back straight, on the Kemmel straight here, is obviously going to allow us to outdrag the likes of Max Verstappen and also Carlos Sainz Jr. as we do make a move around the outside of Danica Fiat into Les Combes corner, and ahead of us already, approaching the top 3 already, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and also Nico Rosberg, who has maintained pole position. Rosberg not naturally the best at start, especially in this career mode anyway, but on to lap 2 now. You can see ahead, battling is my teammate and Nico Rosberg. I think Sebastian Vettel is in the lead of this Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton gets all out of shape though, as Rosberg goes very slowly onto the bus stop chicane, and we're going to try and make a move around the outside of the chicane on the pit straight now, although I think Lewis Hamilton just has the edge here as we now head into La Source for the 3rd time here. Going to outbrake Lewis Hamilton. We are now up into 3rd position. The diving manoeuvre there, late braking manoeuvre, and we are now up into P3, but not for long. However, as Lewis Hamilton tries to make a move, he's going to try and make it stick around the outside of O'Ruccio. Can Hamilton do that, or will he back off? But inevitably he does. A very risky overtake that would have been, certainly, and what a move it would have been if Hamilton was able to pull it off. But as you can see on the replay here, just a diving manoeuvre by Freddie Gray on Lewis Hamilton, and another one here where Lewis Hamilton just about thought better of it right at the last second and backed off and allowed Freddie to retake that 3rd position. But now on to later on into lap 3, sorry. We are already setting purple sector time, so our pace at the moment is pretty fast, the fastest it is on the track right now, as Sebastian Vettel once again looking very feisty at the back of Nico Rosberg, and we take full advantage of that. Freddie just like, thank you very much, Seb, for that. We're going to dive straight up the inside, and there we go, just like that, up into P2, pretty much out of nowhere really. I don't think Freddie was really intending to make that move. I think Seb was obviously lining up a move with Nico Rosberg, and Freddie just saw the gap there and just went for it completely. But I think now we will obviously have DRS on Nico Rosberg, and obviously the straight line speed on this track is absolutely, you know, vital, and the slipstream effect is absolutely overpowered as well. So hopefully we should be able to have DRS on Nico Rosberg. We're just going to have to wait and see now. Going through Eau Rouge now, we're also going to have to watch out behind for Sebastian Vettel as well, who will also have DRS, but I think we're going to stay to the outside here, going to allow Seb all the room possible. I think both of us will hope to be able to overtake Rosberg here. We're going to leave Seb some room here to perhaps go in the middle, but I think the gap closes. But however, we have made the move up into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix, onto lap 4 here, now heading down into Rivage Corner, and I think we have, yes, maintained that position. The Rosberg's dropped back a little bit, and hopefully our teammate Sebastian Vettel can follow suit as well, because obviously we're in quite a mega battle with Mercedes also in the Constructors' Championships. One of the Drivers' Championships as well between Freddie and Lewis Hamilton. Freddie completely bosses it there into Blanchimont, and that's allowed Nico Rosberg back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel almost forcing Freddie onto the grass there, making contact. Freddie's front right tyre and Seb's rear left tyre almost making contact with each other. Well, they basically did, but thankfully didn't result in anything too major, as Vettel is squeezing Lewis Hamilton out to the right hand side there. Unbelievable stuff really, as Seb is absolutely trying his best to maintain that position, obviously at the expense of Lewis Hamilton, but Freddie runs a little bit wide into turn number 1, and that might allow the German Sebastian Vettel, our teammate here, to have a run, as well as Lewis Hamilton as well. Lewis Hamilton, you can see, waiting in the wings here. Can Sebastian Vettel make a move? As you can see, they're running very close for Eau Rouge. Hamilton actually close to Vettel now, as he didn't want to make contact with his teammate, obviously, but we'll see behind here whether Vettel can close in with the slipstream and obviously the DRS. Can he do it, Sebastian Vettel? He is gaining us as we head into Le Con. Freddie moving to the outside. Sebastian Vettel might try and go for it, but he does back off at the last minute. A bit of a risky move that would have been, especially with Freddie giving Sebastian probably the tighter line, or at least the trickier line, to go and make a move around the outside. But now, onto lap 6, onto the Kemmel Straight once more. This is going to be a very popular overtaking spot around the Grand Prix, I'm telling you guys. And there goes Sebastian Vettel up into P2, and also Lewis Hamilton up into P3. But Lewis Hamilton does break a little bit earlier than expected, to be honest, and Freddie does make the move again whilst running wide, blocking Lewis Hamilton from making another maneuver back onto him. So up into P3 once again, and hopefully so he should be able to catch up with Sebastian Vettel again very soon. But now, end of lap 6, this is the time for Freddie and Lewis Hamilton to pit in. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here, whether the guys will go on to different strategies, whether the 2 Ferraris and 2 Mercedes, because it's quite clear now, this is the battle for the Grand Prix win. It's between Ferrari and Mercedes. One of the 2 drivers from one of those teams will win this Belgian Grand Prix today. Thankfully, Freddie gets released in front of Lewis Hamilton. Like, it does look as if he is on the prime tyres, Lewis Hamilton, which is interesting to say the least. So it looks like 2 of these drivers here today, 2 of the top 4, could be racing the other 2, which basically could make things very interesting. I'm not sure if it will be the 2 Mercedes against the 2 Ferraris, or maybe 1 Ferrari and 1 Mercedes against the other Ferrari and the other Mercedes, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But we're going to see now, on to lap 7, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg, the other 2 leaders, are also boxing in this lap. How far are they out in front? Are they going to be out in front? It looks like they will be out in front, so unfortunately the undercut hasn't really worked out too well, albeit we have closed the gap a little bit on Sebastian Vettel.
Okay, so Vettel and Hamilton are on opposite strategies to ourselves.
So our engineer confirming there that it does seem to be Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton on opposite strategies to ourselves. So essentially, Freddie will have to actually work with Nico Rosberg to try and, you know, finish 1-2 in this Grand Prix. But obviously that's not how it's going to go. Freddie obviously does want Ferrari to get maximum points possible for obviously the Constructors' Championship. But now we are on the back of Sebastian Vettel, who shouldn't put up much of a fight, as he is on the yellow walled marked prime tyres. So hopefully we should be able to make a move on Sebastian without any issues whatsoever, perhaps here into Blanchimont. But I think we are slightly too far behind at the moment. But I think Freddie is really getting on Sebastian Vettel. Is he going to make a move to Blanchimont at the last second? Again, kissing his gearbox there. Look how close he's getting to the rear of Seb's car. Sebastian actually pushing him out wide a little bit, but I think actually does allow him through. Backs off a little bit too easily, obviously, inevitably, to allow Freddie through, obviously, at the wishes of the team. But now, into P2 P2. We should hopefully be catching up Nico Rosberg very soon. We've got to make the most of this middle stint now. Try and pull away from the likes of Sebastian Vettel, and already kind of pulling away from Lewis Hamilton. Now basically onto the same point, into La Source on lap 11. Out of the exit, Lewis Hamilton behind has actually overtaken Vettel, so those two have dropped back quite significantly. Inevitably, obviously, as we're at the top here on the option super soft tyres. So hopefully we should be able to make a move on Rosberg, who is actually harvesting some of his ERS energy up this straight here. So let's have a look as we go round the outside of Rosberg, already getting an insane run on the Mercedes driver there, the German, and up into P1 already onto lap 11 here. A couple of laps now until we're probably going to pit in again for our final stop of the day. The 2-stop strategy, I think it will be today. One more stop obviously onto the prime tyres, where we'll be at a slight disadvantage in comparison to Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. But hopefully when we do pit in, we can gain a little bit of an undercut or an overcut even on the guys behind. So hopefully the time we'll lose in the finals, Tim, won't be too major.
Box, Rosberg is going to be pitting too. The aim here is to put in a couple of solid laps before Hamilton and Seb pit.
So simply just to back myself up, Freddie has to put in some very solid lap times once he pits in on this lap. Hopefully he'll be actually ahead of Nico Rosberg before we get into the pits, because Rosberg's looking very feisty behind us. He's going to try and move around the outside of the bus stop chicane, but obviously Freddie will have the inside line for when we come into the pit lane. He does run out a little bit wide, but he is into the pits ahead of Nico. So hopefully, first off, we can jump Nico Rosberg, then put in the solid lap times, where Sebastian Vettel, in fact, is now ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But I don't think those guys will obviously jump us, but I think, obviously, in the final stint, they will be closing in on us on the fresher, probably newer, and also faster soft tyres. And unfortunately, Nico Rosberg has in fact jumped in the pit lane, but I don't think it's the end of the world really. Hopefully we can repass Nico Rosberg here. We should have the DRS on the Kemmel straight, so actually this isn't too much of a disaster at all. Just involves us having to do a little bit of overtaking here. So let's see if we can try and close in on Nico Rosberg as we now approach Eau Rouge corner, one of the best corners in Formula 1. Let's see what we can do now, as we do actually lose a bit of our end plate, which actually probably help us on the straights a little bit. Just that little bit less of downforce, but in Sector 2 it may hinder us slightly. Bit of a silly mistake there from Freddie really. But anyway, opening up the DRS now, already hitting the limiter in 8th gear. We should be able to easily pass Nico Rosberg, lining up now, bearing down him, up the inside of their common, easy manoeuvre, up into the lead of the Grand Prix, only 9 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So if we can put in some solid lap times now, gain on these guys even more, and hopefully both will be forced to have to claw back lots of time on Freddie and obviously Nico Rosberg. But on to lap 15 now, the battle continues for the effective lead of the Grand Prix as Rosberg tries to move around the outside of Lecombe. He's still on the inside there for turn 5, but thankfully Freddie does keep him behind for now. But this challenge for Nico Rosberg here is allowing the guys like Sebastian Vettel to pull away even further. But on to lap 16 now they are put into the pits, and we are way ahead of Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. My concern here, I think Freddie may have actually been battling a little bit too hard with Rosberg, and Vettel doesn't actually seem that too far behind. As you look behind there, Vettel has definitely gained by at least a second or two, so that is a little bit concerning to say the least, and as Rosberg is still right on our rear here, so hopefully Rosberg won't be able to make a move, but I think he will though, as he opens up the DRS now, heading down into Lecombe once more, and Rosberg is ahead, so I think we might try dive and move down the inside. I think Rosberg actually is in fact in the lead for now, but we do have some back markers ahead, which hopefully won't hinder us too much. Hopefully they'll hinder Rosberg a little bit. I believe it is the two manners of HARYANTO and PASCAL WEHRLEIN. So now, still behind Nico Rosberg as we head down to turn 8 now. I think Freddie gets two wheels onto the curb and he's locked up, running a little bit wide. Where is Sebastian Vettel? I think he rejoins, thankfully, just ahead of the MANOR of WEHRLEIN. But really now, the gap to Sebastian Vettel is it's going to decrease quite a lot now. I mean, it's going to decrease quite significantly. Obviously, now Vettel's got his tyres up to temperature, the super soft tyres, but thankfully that little moment there into turning into Rivage corner didn't cost us too much time, and Sebastian Vettel still about 2 seconds behind. But obviously later on as the stint progresses, Vettel will significantly catch up along with Lewis Hamilton. So now we have the DRS on Rosberg. Can we make a move once again into Lecombe corner? Once again seems to be the place to overtake in this Grand Prix, going purple into Sector 1, and we have overtaken Nico Rosberg up into the lead of the Grand Prix. Now Sebastian Vettel, as you can see on the mini-map, is really reeling us in now. It is getting very tense now. Onto lap 18, we have Sebastian Vettel now in P2, unbelievable. So now he has overtaken Nico Rosberg, so that is, well, Vettel is absolutely flying right now, so I'm not sure whether Freddie will actually be able to keep him behind once we get to a place where the slipstream is really quite, significant, probably into Blanchimont corner. But Vettel, already at the exit of Pouon, is already trying to make a move around our outside, but we've just about defended it on the inside line, thankfully. So Freddie, under all sorts of pressure now, just needs to keep it in there and keep the likes of Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg behind in the safety car, just to make things even crazier, to give Freddie a little bit of a break. is out. It is being deployed for some crash that has happened at some other part of the track. So now this is going to allow us to have a 4-way scrap to the end of the Grand Prix. The 2 Mercedes versus 2 Ferraris. The first time this has happened in this career. As we do like Fernando Alonso there. For some reason was going slowly. The other guys do overtake him eventually. The safety car, it will be probably coming in at the end of lap 20. 2-lap sprint now to the end of the Grand Prix. Mercedes versus Ferrari. It's currently Ferrari 1 and 2, followed by Mercedes 3 and 4. Hopefully it will remain in this order come the end of the Grand Prix. It will really benefit us of Hamilton being in 4th, and obviously ourselves in P1 currently with Freddie Gray there.
Safety car is in this lap. 2 more laps to go. You've got this, come on.
Freddie knows exactly what he has to do. Need to get those tyres up to temperature, put it into standard mixture now, and hopefully we can bring home this Belgian Grand Prix victory. Freddie hasn't actually won a race in quite a long time. Actually, if he wins the race today, it will only be his 3rd of the season, so he hasn't won too many at all. He's backing off now, letting the safety car peel off into the pit lane. Now he's putting up into full speed now, coming around the bus stop chicane for the ultimate time. He actually runs a little bit wide, but I don't think Vettel is actually close enough to make amends of that. Freddie did shoot up into the distance quite early, and Sebastian Vettel was caught napping there on the restart. So now onto lap 21. Towards the end of it, thankfully Freddie didn't get much of a challenge up to Lecombe, but now heading into Blanchimont corner into sector 3, Sebastian Vettel is right up the gearbox of Freddie Gray. Can Vettel make a manoeuvre into the Blanchimont corner on this penultimate lap here, or will Vettel back off? He does back off quite significantly, which may actually be a mistake, because now Rosberg and Hamilton, the 2 Mercedes cars, are catching up as well. This Mercedes versus Ferrari battle will really get real now onto this final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. What a race this has been. Probably the first time this Mercedes versus Ferrari battle has really ever happened this whole series, and it's something that everyone has really been anticipating for quite some time. But hopefully Freddie can keep it in there for now as he runs wide out of the exit of turn 1 into Les Source, and that will really allow Sebastian Vettel to catch up along with Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. But it's Vettel who is Freddie's main challenger right now. But let's see, Vettel might try around the outside of Eau Rouge, but Freddie defending very well once again, running a little bit wide. But I think obviously Vettel, Rosberg and Hamilton will get the DRS. Vettel backs off actually quite significantly once again, which obviously backfires. Rosberg is going around the outside of him along with Lewis Hamilton. Rosberg is now up to Peter. Rosberg is absolutely flying here as we head down to Lecombe. Hamilton also trying it as well, but thankfully Freddie makes it stick on into Lecombe, and I think Rosberg is now up to P2, Vettel P3 and Hamilton in P4. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely far from over as we enter the last sector for the final time in this Belgian Grand Prix. What a race it's been, probably up there with the best of the season. Rosberg 4 tenths behind, Vettel 3 tenths behind him, and Lewis Hamilton obviously not far behind Sebastian Vettel as well. For one final time here, this leads the Grand Prix. The winner of the Belgian Grand Prix is far from confirmed right now as we head to Blanchimont for the final time. This long sweeping left-hander, has Rosberg got it? He's going to try around the outside of the bus stop chicane. Vettel is also there as well, along with Lewis Hamilton into the bus stop chicane for one final time, and round the final corner. I think Freddie's just about gone, and Vettel also defends off Lewis Hamilton. We're going to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Get in there!
Incredible battling and overtaking today, Freddie. Brilliant, brilliant drive to keep the guys behind on that final lap. Very well done.
Unbelievable. What a race that was. Just such a shame really that we couldn't maintain a Ferrari 1-2, but look at the gap there between the top 3, less than a second, 9 tenths of a second separating the top 3. What a bloody Grand Prix that was. Lewis Hamilton 4th, so actually quite a good result for us in terms of the championship. I think we actually now take the lead as a result of that. We'll check that in a second, but Bottas 5th, Mass 6th for Williams, doing very well in the race. Their straight line speed helping them out quite a bit. Grosjean in 7th, Sainz in 8th, not Hulkenberg in 9th for Force India getting some points, and Danny Kvyat rounding out the points in 10th position, and the DNF is there. The 2 Red Bulls, in fact, not going too well around here. So now looking at the Drivers' Championship after round 11, we can see Freddie Gray now in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. 4 points ahead now of Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel in 3rd, Felipe Massa in 4th, and Nico Rosberg in 5th. Despite his 2nd place today, he's still on 98 points, with Daniel Ricciardo in 6th position with 76. Kvyat picking up a single point today now with 56. Bottas in 8th, Hulkenberg in 9th, Verstappen 10th with 46, and Perez still maintains that 11th position thanks to his earlier podiums in the season. He is still on on 42 points. Now, looking at the constructors, Ferrari increased their lead to Mercedes, obviously after Freddie inevitably picking up the race victory today, just about fending off Nico Rosberg right at the end there. Mercedes in second, Williams third, Red Bull fourth, Force India fifth, and one change you can see there, Haas F1 now level with McLaren thanks to Grosjean's points today. Guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel. The next race will be Ferrari's home Grand Prix at Monza. Guys, that is where shit really hits the fan, I'm telling you right now, so make sure you do not miss that one. And yes guys, I will see you next time. Bye bye.